Hi everybody, I thought I'd do a little update of where the medium kahuna van is at. As you can see, I've been doing wiring and insulation and roof stuff. Cut myself a little perspex roof vent there, and here's a side I prepared a bit earlier. The walls are coming along. It is a huge amount of work. As anyone who's worked on one of these things knows, it takes longer than you thought. You can see how I've done the insulation. It's got a layer up against the metal, but because of the shape of the metal on the outside, the corrugation kind of thing, there is an air gap in there, and at least a fair bit of it. And it's got this other layer of insulation. As you can see, it's got a second layer, so there's a lot of arguments you can make about doing insulation this way or that way. One way is better than the other, but in the end this is what I've gone with. You can see wiring. The black plastic stuff there is just 13mm pipe. That's just conduit for later solar panel. This is where the little electrical cupboard's going to go. As you can see, everything's conduited. These things here, it's just, I've used a step drill to go through the frame, put a 13mm bit of irrigation line in there, and then with this conduit, I've just bugled the end out a bit with a heat gun and a silicone nozzle. So I found that works well. I've really thought about how I want the electrical stuff to go, and I've changed my mind as I've gone. I think it's something that you really want to get right, because it's something you got to live with for a long time. As you can see, big ass window. That's our maybe servery window at times. It's a possibility, but I'll just show you. The roof is fiberglass in here in the front and back, as you can see, but the roof, see, it's going to have leaves on it and everything like that. Hope you get a good look at it. The roof was just a huge amount of work. It was like stopping during the renovation to fix up an old fiberglass boat, to renovate an old fiberglass boat. Really happy with how it came out. I think it was well worth the effort and all of that, but I'm talking 50 hours, something like that, into that roof of fiberglass and re-fiberglass, and they did a crappy job of the fiberglassing in the first place, and there were places where it was too thin, other places where it's just uneven and too thick or something like that, but I've rectified all that. Down the back here, I've made provisions. I actually changed the frame. I cut an upright out, move the chair a bit. I've made provisions for a tunnel boot to go right across under the bed area, and it is marked and all of that, and the same provisions made on the other side, because there's going to be a tunnel boot will go through there. And one thought I've had is, I don't think we'll be using an air conditioner a whole lot in this thing. I think the only time that'll happen is when it's at home, which is easy enough, and possibly if we did stay at a caravan park, which I can't see happen a lot. I think we'd be off grid and that sort of thing. So I'm thinking about just putting a little box air con on a fridge slide in there. Just a little fridge slide, so I can just slide it out when I want it. And if we're not needing it, we're traveling in the cooler months, so we're going off grid, we can just leave the bloody box aircon at home. But this caravan is going to be used a lot as like a teenager's retreat, place for sleepovers. I think that's going to be a good use for it. So having an aircon in there at home is going to be a good thing. And when I'm working on it too, it could even be a good thing. But yeah, it is coming along. I've got 9mm ply on the walls. It's a 9mm marine ply. Now it's not that old brown really hard marine ply, but apparently it meets all the specifications to build boats out of it and all of that sort of stuff. So I got to figure that with being painted front and back and all this you know, the sides all painted up after it's been cut and all of that, it's going to have really good water resistance properties. So yeah, it's looking good. I am thinking about putting a shower in the back now. Some other caravan builders who I advised that they probably won't need a shower. Their shower came up great and it seems like a really good thing, and I like a shower. So I'm thinking about putting a shower in there somewhere where there's no window. I've wired it appropriately for that. But yeah, lots of PowerPoints now. It only had originally like 3 or 4. Now it's going to have more like 10. A light for over the kitchen. I decided I wanted a light for over the kitchen. And yeah, PowerPoints, lighting. Up the front here, this area, I'm going to build a room. Sorry, I keep swinging around. I'm going to build a room down past that window. It's going to have a wall across it and door and that kind of thing where the benches will end. But up this end, I'm going to try and keep it, like I say, because the kids are going to be using it and all of that sort of stuff. I'm going to keep this area fairly free for activities. A lot of room here. I figure I can put a table in there. We could put up the kids' bunk beds. They could have sleepovers. The good thing about having a big window is it's easy to get stuff in here. We could pass a couch in the window and pass it back out when we're sick of that idea. You know, I'm going to try and not nail this area down to being anything at all. Like, I've had a lot of ideas about building a loft bed up and having a desk underneath and all that sort of stuff, but why nail myself down to one option when I think I can just leave it as an open space? And worst kind of worst, you know, you could chuck down a bunch of mattresses on a big space like that and a lot of people could stay in here in foul weather or something like that. So yeah, I've tried to make it. I've kept the sheets a little bit up off the floor so they've got just a little bit of room to expand, but also I'm really going for a water resistant thing. I could see a situation where a van could get flooded, you know. I want to be able to hose this thing out. I'm going to go for marine carpet on the floor. So I want to keep the sheets up a bit so, you know, to dry out really well. You could pull the carpets out, hose her out and start again. All the stuff down the bottom, all the cupboardry and all of that is going to be water resistant as well. So basically I'm planning it, I know this sounds strange, but planning it so I could take a foot of water through it and we could hose it out and keep on going. And I think realistically in Australia that could happen, and especially if you think about, you know, getting out of an area, having to go through some deeper water, so you're not stuck there for the next 3 months or something like that. But anyway, it is coming along. It's been a very slow process, and as anyone will tell you, take your plans and times it by 5, the time it's going to take. Hasn't cost me a huge amount of money. Look, I'm at, including everything with the cost of the van, I've only just gone over the $3,000 mark. So I'm not complaining about that. But starting to get a little bit exciting really, because I'm getting to the stage where she's going to have walls and I can really think about turning this place into a luxury hotel room on wheels. Alright, this is the Medium Kahuna. Until next time, bye.